What's going on, everyone? Look, I was not supposed to talk about any of this bullshit until after the Tate's case is finalized. Tiffany's just being a real stupid cunt. And until she can explain it otherwise, I really don't give a shit what she does. Like, what was it? It was like I told you how, like, oh yeah, I put that Burt's Bees chapstick on because the fucking bong is the alleged bong. The flower vase that I'm using is giving me chapped lips. Until she explains it like she said she was gonna do last year. When she started all this bullshit and had her shitty, stupid fucking Thailand concert thingy. The only way, like the best case scenario for her is she is some kind of a Joseon Lorna Doone, and that douchey Kevin Nish motherfucker from Panda Express Records is like a shorter, lower testosterone, less capable, more inept version of Carver Dune. And I'm supposed to be, I guess, who was that farmer guy from Plaver Barrows? I really don't give a shit. Is what I'm getting at. I have my own shit going on. Like she thinks she got a lot of money, and I was like, "Oh, Josen." I'm like, "You just stole like basically my niece's like college fund. You're retarded, right?" So and that would make Tiffany a sort of, kind of not that guilty victim of her circumstances because she was raised as a Joseon princess among the bandits and she thinks all that shit is normal. So again, like these are also kind of a stretch because, like again, she's caught red-handed. It's just because she's a chaebol brat. They're like, oh, what do we do? And all that bullshit. And Tiffany literally is the kind of a spoiled brat where if you show her like international charges that are looming over her head, she'd be like, well, I have charges against you. Charges of you not being nice and saying mean things about Taeyeon. And what did I want to nut on Taeyeon's face? I do. She liked it. Actually, I said a lot of nice things about Taeyeon. I said Taeyeon farts little cubes of... I said Taeyeon farts potpourri and shits little pink cubes of perfume. That's the nicest thing I could think about saying to anyone. I said Tiffany stinks up the crapper. I made a song about it. I said Taeyeon shits little pink cubes of perfume that smell like roses. How's that a bad thing? I would fuck her throat for an hour. She looks hot as shit. Taeyeon, wear a beret and eat some more bananas. It's not illegal to say that shit. It is illegal to do all the shit Tiffany's doing, and she's like, he's supposed to let me, because over my skin. He's supposed to let me, because everyone else simps for me. You literally could have just asked, and I wouldn't have given a shit. The Joseon bullshit with your family, I don't give a fuck about. I cannot begin to tell you how much I don't give a fuck. Your fans are annoying as shit. Literally, I told them to their face they all had low testosterone. They're retarded. They are totally retarded. What is it? I got all my next round of interviews set up and all that bullshit, so probably just gonna make some more ChatGPT videos if I feel like it. Get a pull day in today or tomorrow. I don't know, whenever I get around to it. I don't really give a shit. Been trading crypto, all that bullshit. The thing is, Tiffany thinks she's gonna catch me doing something. Doing what? That's the thing. Like, my job is to catch people, which is why I know exactly what to look for. I was correct the whole time. They just weren't gonna harvest my work. Well, technically, they were. They're gonna harvest. They want to harvest my seed, just like an organ. Anyways, she just her Josian dynamic is retarded. Like, you don't understand. You don't understand. Like, my idea of a relationship, or whatever Josian version they have in their head, is like, I think you're hot. You want to smoke? Cool. Let's have some wine if you want to. Fucking plow you all night long. Sleep in as long as you want to. Smoke whenever you want to. I pay all the bills. It's not really a big deal to me. If you want to sing and dance, sing and dance. Keep me in the loop. All that bullshit. Like, that's what I do. Her version of a relationship, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, Joseon, is like, I control your finances and you do what I say, and you have to ask me permission to fart. And if you don't do anything that I say, then I'm going to bankrupt you, and you have to sign this contract, and it says you have to do whatever I say, and you're not allowed to say anything I don't want you to say. And like, what the fuck? You're so needlessly complex. Like, I've dealt with complex bitches. Like, I knew this, I was telling you, I can't find it. Before I moved, I had that back when I was in my drawing phase, and I met that bitch who was really good at drawing. She had sclerosis. She had that back thingy where she had brittle bones. So, like, at first she was like, I can't believe you can't know anything about me, and I wear trench coats over my dress, you don't need to know. And then I found out she has scoliosis, and I was like, oh, so basically I can just put down like 2 pillows on the bed, you lie down on the pillows, and then I can fuck you all night long, and it's no big deal, right? She's just so needlessly complex. Not to mention, like, look, why would I think someone was going to harvest my organs? Literally, like, I allegedly, not legally allowed to say, I was infiltrating the Tate's organization because they were trying to get really close to a bunch of political people, and that the past 4 years has been basically a giant sting off, so that way everyone who's guilty of shit can get busted and all that bullshit. But that's as close as I can legally come to saying all that. So, literally, I've told you guys this a bajillion times. Everything that Tates were doing is because they were trying to copy the version of me that got arrested at 17 when I was doing international drug ops and all that bullshit. And then I got arrested and had to go boxing and all that bullshit. That's when I started doing undercover work. Especially if you're broke, like, when they realized they couldn't, allegedly, when they realized they couldn't pay me anymore, that's when they started cleaning up my record. Because that's priceless, literally. Anyways. Allegedly. Like, I cannot go into it. People will just assume that because they do something, you do something. So if you let them have the idea that, like, you're basically a pervert, they'll be like, he's super corruptible, we can corrupt him. Meanwhile, you don't actually do anything that pervy. Like, it's literally what they do when they, like, infiltrate, like, biker gangs and all that bullshit. They write books about it, right? It's like, oh shit, I'm in the biker gang. They're like, I have to run train on this bitch, or they're gonna think that, like, I'm a Fed, allegedly. So I'm gonna run train on this bitch. Like, they're not gonna arrest you for that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, anyways, allegedly and all that bullshit. But allegedly, the Tates are some of the biggest pervos there are out there. They're allegedly behind most of, or I will say this, they are the ones who are holding the bag and going to take the blame for all of the massive human trafficking shit on the lower tier end. What it really is, in my opinion, allegedly and all that bullshit, and Tiffany's Joseon bullshit is one example of this, is people like the Tates, I keep on saying, there's one every 5 years. The average age of an influencer is about 5 years. Tate's got big in 2019. 5 years later, they're going to jail, right? Because the powers that be, the ones that print the money, the ones that make the laws, the ones that bribe the politicians, they need someone to show the people that justice is being served. Meanwhile, they are going away, they're getting away with everything, and they just find a new one. Like, the Tates didn't want to be the ones going to jail. They thought they would corrupt me, and I would be the one holding the bag, and then I would go to jail, and they would get away. But turns out, I was basically the one gathering the information allegedly and all that bullshit on all these dumb motherfuckers. Basically because I can. Basically because I'm mad that the system exists where they harvested Amanda's organs in 2004. Like you can't pay me enough, you can't bribe me enough. Like you all are corrupt as I can't even begin to describe to you all. So like, I don't care if you cancel me and all that bullshit. This isn't about that. This is about basically people should not be treated as cattle. Now, is Tiffany directly responsible for any of this bullshit? No, she's a Chibal Joseph brat. She thinks this is normal. Right? Now, whoever the fuck is behind all this bullshit, they need to be held accountable to some level. They probably won't. They're probably just going to lay low for a while and hide and all that bullshit. I really don't give a fuck. It's a pain in my ass. I really don't give a fuck about any of this bullshit. I really don't. Like, if this was Lorna Doone, this is the part when, like, John Carver, whatever the fuck his name is, the farmer dude is like, I'm going to go marry Annie instead because she's not a fucking whore to the dunes. And then supposedly Lorna sneaks out and is like, no, please, I want to stay on the farm with you and all that bullshit. But I don't care if she does or if she doesn't at this point in time because I really don't give, I don't have time for this bullshit. I don't. She's controlling. Like, literally. I told her and some of her buddies at Stephanie that, because I was like, basically like, look, I don't want you to think, I'm some kind of a weirdo. I'm basically doing an op to catch all these pervos. At the time, everyone was like, these people aren't pervos. These people are some of the most upstanding citizens. And I was like, I've been doing this for like a decade at this point in time. Trust me, they're all pervos. Turns out they're all pervos. A lot of them went to jail. The other ones paid some massive fines, and the ones holding the bag are going to be in prison for life. And she literally, like, blew my cover because she was trying to blackmail me somehow, and I was like, I don't want any of that bullshit. Like, literally, all she had to do was say, wow, I'm Stephanie from Night for Freedom. We had such a great time together. I made a song about you. I want to take you up on that offer. I would have been like, great, let me just wrap up some of this shit I'm doing. I'm about to retire. I don't really give a fuck. She's some kind of weird Josian Lorna Doone, and I don't particularly appreciate being pulled into all this bullshit. All I know for a fact is we'll just call it my investigation. The investigation to prove that I'm not full of shit basically verified everything that I'm saying. So I don't really give a shit. She's just trying to get views and all that horse shit. So everyone have a good day. Sani or not. I don't even know what any of this shit means. I literally don't. She's not Tiffany whatever to me. She's Stephanie, the short hair bitch who has been pestering me all the time because for some fucking reason she's some kind, and I don't even know the full extent of it. I don't. She keeps saying this shit like I'm supposed to give a fuck. Like it's supposed to be a big deal. She's like, I canceled the Rick Ross video because of you. I don't give a shit. I don't particularly give a shit who that is, what they do, or whatever that fuck. I don't give a shit. So everyone is like, Tiffany? You didn't call Tiffany back? You make Tiffany chase you? Yes, Stephanie, the short hair bitch. I'm not going to put up with her bullshit if that's what you mean. Gumio, soulmate, all that horseshit. I don't really, whatever. Just hurry up or not. I don't particularly give a shit at this point in time.